For example, you are feeling being used, feeling like this person used me so much in this relationship before I broke up with him. The moment you stop feeling like you were used and you forget and you delete it, that's when you talk about moving on. Understand that moving on is not deleting people from your life. Moving on is deleting the scars. It is deleting what the thoughts, the negative thoughts that you have in your mind about the relationship that was in the past. Moving on is finding yourself back into doing things that make you, things that improve you, acquiring some new skills, sitting down and analyzing the things that happened into your relationship and finding out, what did I learn from it? You see, there's no relationship that is a waste, and there is no relationship that is a failure. You can be in a relationship and it doesn't last long. It doesn't mean that that relationship failed. It means that the purpose that it was meant for has been served, and it was to live a short period of time. And if you sit down and analyze what happened in that relationship to find the lessons that came with that short time, you are better off than that person who has never been in a relationship. You see, we have to understand that the truth is, not all relationships will lead to marriage. Some relationships will only take us to the new restaurants. Some of them will make us ride on Mercedes Benz. Some of them will make us sleep in 5-star hotels. Some of these relationships will make us eat meals that we've never feared. Some of these great relationships will only make us wear clothes we never dreamed to wear. Some of this relationship will make you have more rounds of love making, or we call it sex, that you've never had. And that is a season. Call it a season and move on, because not every relationship will lead you to marriage. You have to take the lessons. When it stops, learn from those lessons. Sit down and ask yourself questions. Why was I in this relationship? When did I start it? What did I learn from it? And what am I taking out of this relationship? Do not cry. Do not move around cursing people, how they used me, how they did this, how they did that. No, nobody uses you. People give you lessons to learn. People give you classes. The teachings that are written all over these relationships is what you need to take home. Some relationships will make you even drive cars you never wished to drive. There are men who date women who drive good cars, and you will be driving their cars for some time. It will never be forever. Some relationships will make you feel like you are the queen of that kingdom, but it will just be for a time, in a season. During that season, you've got to learn your lessons. You have got to learn, and the biggest lesson that comes with those relationships where you feel like you're the king, you feel like you're the queen, but for a season, the biggest lesson that come out of those relationships is that sometimes you can go up and sometimes you can come down. Your lesson must be well learned, because if you don't learn that lesson and you go out with the scars, with the pain, with the curses, and you want to, revenge, you'll never have your lesson and you'll never move on. Moving on is not revenging. Moving on is not changing the people in a relationship or in your life. It is becoming the better version of yourself. It is understanding that I learned my lessons and I am better today. And the same mistakes I did before, I'm not going to do it again. Not every relationship has to be perfect. And by the way, Do not forget, there's no perfect relationship. There are just relationships that work. All right? So if you want to move on from the lessons you learned in that relationship. Do not move on castigating the pain. Guys, do not move on castigating the pain. Do not move on thinking about how painful it has or it was during that period that things were great for you. Don't move on thinking how painful it is to say goodbye. Don't think about how hard it is to say, I will never see you again. Don't think about those great nights. When it is time to move, you have to move. You are moving with yourself. You're not moving with any other person. People move by trying to find new relationships. Not relationships that build, relationships that replace. You don't move on by replacing somebody in your life. That is not moving on. That is like, taking a glass of poison, breaking it, then take a cup of poison. You are having a glass of poison and you realize that this is poison. I can't take it. Then you break the glass. Yeah, you're free. You cannot drink that poison again because the glass is broken. So you cannot drink the poison, right? But instead of washing your hands and the sink and making sure that the poison stains are not in your hand, you go pick a cup full of another poison. And you try to tell yourself that, you know what, maybe this poison is a little bit okay. Maybe it will not affect me so much. You don't move on by replacing people in your life. You move on by taking the pain, healing the pain, talking to yourself, becoming better, and being somebody that you love.